Hello, Southwest Leadership Group, and Paul and Laurel and everybody else. Dave Landis, Lincoln, Nebraska, going to be with you next week on a session called Problem Solving Negotiation, and I'm really looking forward to it. I asked the last group and all previous groups if the folks who came to this organization, this group, saw themselves as problem solvers. And I'm going to guess over the years, the percentage was between 90 to 95% of people who said, yeah, I'm a problem solver. I asked all of those groups, including the last time, how many would see yourself as a negotiator? And the percentage was about 40%, maybe 45%. And I've thought about that over time, and I think it's because people believe problem solving and negotiation are two separate forms of human interaction. Problem solving's here in a Venn diagram, it's got its circle, and then negotiation, it's got its Venn diagram circle, and they don't interlap. Truth of the matter is, I think there's a very healthy interlapping between the two. That overlap has to do with the fact that you are working on problems. You're trying to solve problems. That's why we negotiate. It involves trading information back and forth. It involves coming up with options. Now, in problem solving, we call it options. In negotiation, we call it offers. And in the end, it winds up producing a voluntary agreement between the parties, or parties walk away. In other words, the overlap between the two, I think, is quite considerable. So when you come to this group, to this class, you'll be coming with a lot of the skills that are relevant and applicable to what we'll be talking about, but we do have to kind of move them 90 degrees to comport with the negotiation situation. For example, when a group gets together to problem solve, they normally share the same problem, and everybody's mind is working on how to solve that problem. When you negotiate, you are problem solving. However, you're solving two problems at the same time. Car lot wants to make money, they sell cars. We want to meet our family's transportation needs, we buy a car. In a car sale, they meet their problem, which is profitability, and we meet our problem, which is our family's transportation needs. For example, if you and a coworker sit down, or the boss's problem may be, I need to have this work done by the end of the fiscal year. And you being asked to do it might have the problem of, I don't want to disturb the family vacation plans that I've made and I've bought the tickets to. Those aren't the same two problems, but when they get together, they try to come up with a solution, hopefully, that voluntarily solves both problems, so the boss doesn't have to say, stay home and do the work, so they can get along. It's two people solving problems at the same time. If I want to take that to the global level, many of you might have heard about the Cuban Missile Crisis, but you're too young to do or remember it. I'm 72 and I was, I think, 14 at the Cuban Missile Crisis. There were Russian missiles in Cuba. We flew over and discovered it. They were offensive weapons, easily within the reach of the entire eastern seaboard. We told the Russians to take them out. They wouldn't. We blockaded the island and are going to stop the Russian ships that were bringing more missiles into Cuba. And after staring down the Russians ships turned around and went home, and they broke apart their missile bases and sent them home as well. At the time, America said we stared down the Russians. It was our moral authority and their fear of our might that made them do that. All of the records, however, of what really went on were classified for 25 years, so most people don't know that it was a deal. It was a negotiation. Yes, there were missiles in Cuba, But what America doesn't remember is we had missiles in Turkey, right on the Russian borders, almost exactly strategically the same situation. And they'd been there for a long time before we discovered the missiles in Cuba. When the Russian ambassador and Bobby Kennedy got together, they made a deal. And here's the deal. You take out you send the missiles home that are on the way, and then you take the missiles down and send them home. And then within 6 months, America will do exactly the same thing with its missiles in Turkey. The only difference is you can't tell the world. This is between us. But if you leak this to the world, we'll deny it and we won't keep our end of the bargain. But if you keep it a secret, we will do this. And Bobby said he was carrying the commitment of the president. That's the same thing. It's the car buying. It's the boss and the co-worker. There are two people solving the same problems working together. Anyway, that's what we'll be doing next week. We will be working on good, sound, profitable, beneficial problem solving through trading. See you then.